Hello everyone. I hope audible. Good evening to all. Hello everyone. Just write in the chat box if I'm audible, right? Good evening. Good evening to all. Very good evening. So I hope I'm audible, right? Can you please confirm? Okay, I'll share my screen as well at the same time. Please confirm in the chat box if I'm audible and my screen is visible at the same time. Okay. So sharing my screen. It will take 2 minutes. Okay. So yesterday what we did is I gave you a simple quiz, right? If you guys remember. Okay. So I guess my screen would be visible as well. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. 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 So screen is visible. So let's start. So this is the day two, right? And okay, before that, let me explain this part where you have to mark attendance, right? So that link is there in the description box. Okay, so for the registration assignment, because you have to complete the assignment as well, it will be at the end of class. You'll be getting that assignment. Okay, so if you can see the screen here, we have that same link we have. For that, when you go on that link, you'll just open this page. You have to mark this attendance for the day two. Okay, make sure the progress bar hits at least 50% to get the certificate, right? So you'll be getting the certificate only if you have 50 percentage, okay, minimum progress bar. And here there are few referral options. Okay, I'll talk about this later, but this is important. You have to mark the attendance like this, okay, as we have seen in the previous day as well, right? Same. So you can just select the premium program and you can just give the feedback, right? Let's suppose if I select, okay, just do this one after the class only, okay, after this session. Okay. So make sure you're marking the attendance and here you can submit the assignment, right? So I'll tell this again at the end of the session. Don't worry. Okay. But remember, you have to mark the attendance. This is 50% criteria, right? And then we have few referral options. I'll talk about this later. So let's quickly start. So if you guys remember, this is the day two for the Java Bootcamp, and what I have given you as the quiz, I got the answers as well at the same time. Okay, yesterday only. So attendance link is there in the description box. Right? So yeah, you can check in the description box. Attendance link is there. Okay, every link is same. Okay, if you have to register, you have to get the attendance. If you have to get the assignment, submit the assignment. Link is same. You have to just open that link. It will open like this. Okay, you have to sign in, enroll in this boot camp first, then afterwards you can mark the attendance and submit the assignment. So below the attendance button we have the submit as well. Okay, so that is necessary, right, to get the certificate. So yesterday I gave one question, right? Hello Naveen. Hi. Hello everyone, I hope I'm audible, right? So can you guys tell me the quiz, the question I asked in the last day? I got the answers, right? The question I'll write in here, which was a simple question. Okay, it was string is primitive, and this is kind of important, or derived. Okay, so derived means non-primitive data type. Okay, same name is same. So it is primitive or derived data type. Okay, that was the question which I asked. This is quite simple. So as I told you earlier as well, I'll tell you the answer obviously, right? So you're getting this link also in the chat box, right? There you can also refer to this. Okay, so in here, what I told you is primitive means which is the predefined. Okay, the specific values which are there in the Java. Derived means the value or the data type which derives from the primitive data type. Okay, so if you can see the definition, you'll get to know about the string, because string is what? String is nothing, right? So string obviously in the double quotes we are passing. Let's suppose if I'm writing car, so this is nothing but a string. Okay, so if you remember in the primitive, we have told we have this char as well, right? So there is a data type which is char. This string, let's suppose if I call it as str and I save it like this, car in double quotes. Okay, ignoring the semicolons, you can just. So if you have string like this is nothing but the character of sequence of characters, right? Literals, you can say. So this is related to this one only, right? It is derived from what? Characters, right? So if it's derived from characters, then why do we have to call it as a primitive data type? That's not possible, right? So string in Java is derived data type. Okay, remember this point. Generally, people confuse with this because string is also class. It is just like an instance when we are using. Okay, so it is an object when we have to use the string. So that's also the point. It cannot be primitive. Okay. So the answer is derived. String is not primitive but derived data type. Okay. So that's you should know and remember this point. This is important. Okay, because people generally get confused with this point. Okay. So today we have to see few topics. I'll write in here, which is simple. Okay. So just continuing with the syntax part, which was reading right in the last day. Yeah, we have to see the operators, which you already know. Okay, so we have kind of few operators, which is the arithmetic operators. Okay, so we have the arithmetic operators, and we have as logical operators. Okay. So in general, we have like this only. Uh, we have one more, which is your bitwise. Okay. Or you can say the bit manipulators. Okay. So that is also one of the operators we are going to see. But right now we'll be sticking to the arithmetic and logical because it will take more time to explain this bitwise because that's a different one. Okay. This is actually you can say not in the advanced, but this is totally related to the maths. Okay. So if you have the idea about the maths, bit actually is 1 and 0. Okay. So how the bit manipulation works, bit masking works. Okay, so they are separate topics. Actually, this will take whole week, right? 1 or 2 week to explain this whole bitwise operators. Okay. So we'll be going to stick with this part, but there is operator like this as well. Okay. So, anyone knows about this logical and arithmetic operators? I mean, if you know about the bitwise, that's well and good. Can you give examples to this? Arithmetic is quite easy, which is nothing but the mathematical operations. Logical is also the same, but in here, the simple mathematics, you can say the arithmetic operators, right? The plus, that subtraction, division, right? Addition, multiplication, and all those things. We have few more, which is the modulo operator, right? So apart from that, can anyone tell me about the logical operators? Arithmetic is quite easy. I'll explain that example as well. That's easy. So in the case of arithmetic operators, examples are simple. This plus I'll write in here. Here we are not writing like x, right? That cross. Okay, it is nothing but the star for the multiplication. Okay, then we have subtraction, we have division. We have one more operator if you don't know in the arithmetic. That is percentage, right? This is called as modulo. Okay, exactly. A Boolean bit operator. Yeah, that is also one of the operators. Or and not. Okay, that's the example for logical operators. Okay, so I'll write it separately. So mathematic operators quite easy. For the logical operators, we have example like this. So we have this and, we have or, and we have this not. Right? Actually, there is a proper symbol for this, which is using with the two times and, right? Because this is the symbol for and for or we have two times or, right? That is the difference. Okay. So see, actually, in the case of operators, there is quite possibilities. We have okay. So regarding the logical operators, we have one more. Okay, the basic ones. The basic ones I'll write also. There is one more, which is the comparison. Right? So we made this one. This is again quite easy. Comparing the numbers, right? Comparing the strings and all those things. Although strings cannot be compared directly. Okay. Although it returns some value at the same point using comparison operator. Okay, I hope you're getting my point. Let's suppose you have to compare the numbers, right? Which is simple. So this is again simple maths, which is nothing but less than, okay, greater than, equal to, okay, not equal to, right, less than, equal to, and this greater than, equal to, and all those things. Okay, this is easy. Logical operator is quite tricky, okay, in this case, because it is related to this a bitwise as well, right? Because we have the single and single or, okay, which is used for bitwise, right? That's the difference. So don't confuse with this part. Remember, every time logical operator use with two times that symbol, okay. But in the case of not, it is quite easy. That is simple, like reverse of this exclamation mark. Okay, so that's the in here. Okay, that is the not, which means I'll tell you the example, right? I'll tell you the simple example. Exactly. So bitwise operator is also there. We have the shift, we call it, right? Left shift, right shift. Okay, so that is bit different. Yeah, exactly. So we have example for the bitwise operator as well. You got, okay. So bitwise operator actually used for the complex, or you can say the mathematical computations, where we have to use time complexity, right? We have to reduce the time complexity. Okay. So we are going to see the time complexity thing in the day 3, right? What is this time complexity, how it is being calculated, all those things. But in general, bitwise operators are used mostly for high mathematical computations, right? Or if you want to reduce the time, then also it is being used. Okay, to optimize the code, bitwise operator is used. Okay, specifically in the arrays and with the numbers. So every time we have to play with the numbers, specifically when it is going to the binary numbers. Okay, because if you know, there is a obviously there is a reason behind this how it works faster. Because see, when you are adding the numbers like this, right, a plus b or like this. Okay, sorry, I'll write this in again. Let's suppose if you are writing the numbers a plus b, okay, so it will be computing the value of a plus b, whatever the value we have for the a and b. So in this case, what will happen actually? A plus B will take more time rather than the bitwise operators, because this is the arithmetic operator. Okay, so it will work directly not on the bits. Okay, it is working on the numbers, because the bits we write, that is in the form of, let's suppose this. Okay, and if you are using bitwise operators to perform the operation, let's suppose if you want to compare the numbers, we have, with the help of bitwise, this left shift, right, we can compare the numbers. Okay, you can get the particular decimal values and all those things. Okay, using the bit masking, that is a different concept right now. It works faster because it directly works on a bit, this number. Because see, every you're seeing right now, we write like this. Let's suppose 4 plus 7. Yeah, you already know, like, this is going to be 11, which is quite easy. But in the case of compilation, this is going to be converted into bit. Okay, like this, whatever the number it is going for this. It is, I guess, 0 0 1, I guess. 0 1 2, yeah, like this. Okay, so this is the, I guess, the binary format, and same goes for the 7, whatever it is going to be. I'm not going to calculate right now. So this is, let's suppose, for the 7, and this is for, and now this is going to be added, right? So that's how the behind the scene it works in the compiler. Okay, so that's behind the scene. It works faster because if you are directly working on the bits, okay, rather than writing number 7 or in the decimal format, which is to the base 10. If you have a basic idea, because this is to the base 2, right, binary format, this is to the base 10, right, if you remember, like, this is simple maths. When you are, let's suppose, if you have seen in, even not in the high school, actually it will be in, it was there in high school, and obviously in the intermediate. So you must have saw about this decimal format and binary, because every computation is going to work with the binary format. So if you're directly working on this only, using the binary numbers and binary operators, it will work faster. That is the reason why bitwise operator are used in complex operations. Okay, that is the reason also, that is the proper reason. Okay, so let me remove all this, although this is not necessary right now, we have to see all those things. Okay, so I hope you got the simple idea. And this example is for, let's suppose, bitwise operator, as I told. It is going to be for the mathematical computation basically, right? So whenever there is complex computations, bitwise is preferred because it can reduce the time complexity. Okay, so we are going to see that how it reduces the time complexity. Okay, we'll see in the later day 3 only. Okay, right now we have to see more topics. Logical operators, I'll tell you about this. There is a proper table, right? You can say the truth table. Okay, if you remember, we have the truth table, right, for this. Anyone remembers about the and, or, and not? Anyone remembers this truth table? Anyone? Because that's how we can get the value. Okay, so for this logical operators, you can say we are kind of truth table, because and will be kind of comparison, right, which returns true or false, obviously. Okay, because every time you're using this, because see, we are going to see with the code, obviously. But in general, what happens, let's suppose if you're using and condition. Okay, and here you have some data. Okay, whatever it is, here you have some data. So if you are putting it together using the and keyword, okay, and this particular symbol, which is logical and, so this particular thing is going to be computed and it returns what, true or either false, depending upon this values. So it could be false, it could be true. Okay, so there is a proper truth table. I'll tell you. Okay, if you don't know, this is simple. Okay, so there you can easily understand how this thing works. Okay, so let's suppose for the and, I'll write, this is quite easy. Okay, we don't have to worry about this. So let's suppose the first value, let's suppose if it's true, and if you have false. So if you're using and, this is for the and. So this true and false, if you're using and in between, so it is going to be false every time. Okay, it should have at least 2 times true, or whatever the computation or comparison you're making with this and operator, both sides should be true. Okay, so if you're using true and true, it is going to be true. Otherwise, any one false will make it false. Okay, obviously two false, obviously going to make it false. So this is simple truth table, right? And quite reverse, quite opposite is the or. Okay, so here it is going to be false. So 3 false, 1 true, true is only case for the both true values. Okay. So if both the conditions you are making with the and, if it's true, then it is going to be true, otherwise false. And or condition is quite different. Here you have the same, let's suppose true, false, true and true, false and false, false and true. Okay, so this is again quite opposite as I said. Here, even one true can make it true. Okay, so you can use this operator twice, thrice. Okay, it's not there a constant. You have to use this only once. Okay, I'll show you in the code. This is also going to be true. This is only false, and this is true. So here we have three times true. Okay, with two data actually. You can have three data as well. Here you have three times false. Okay, so that is the only difference, and is quite opposite with the or. So here you should be getting every time it should be true, then only you'll get true. Otherwise, single false will make it false. In the or condition, single true will make it true. That's simple. Not is quite easy. That's simple. So not symbol is like this, which means true ke samne agar if you're using not, it is going to make it false, and for the false, it is going to make it true. Simple, quite reverse, right? So if it's true, make it not, you'll get false. Simple, right? So making the reverse, okay, that's easy. So how you're going to use in the code, we'll see that, right? That's the operators. Right now, I'm not going to with the bitwise operators because it will take much time. I have to explain the manipulation part, right? You have to convert the decimal and binary. That will take more time. But just for the fundamentals, you should know how this thing works, why we're using bitwise operators, right? So just remember this point. It works faster, okay? In Java, in any other language, it works faster. So we have the logical operators, we have comparison operators as well. So we are going to use this. Okay, we are going to use in the code. So I'm going with the code part. Okay, I'll not take much time. So what we have seen operators right now. If you are able to see my VS code. Okay, so we are doing this code in the VS. And if you want, you can use online compiler because this is quite simple codes. Okay, so you can use online compiler. If you want, you can have the JDK because it is preferred, right? Okay. So yeah, false, false, and false. Okay. So one more question I have. In the case of not, right? In the case of not, conditional and comparison is not same, right? Conditional operators means or conditional statements we have. Okay. Comparison operators we have. Then there is a conditional statements. Okay. Kinda word is kinda same, but if you talk about technically in Java, conditional statements are different. We have if else related to that comparison only, nothing different. Okay, but there is nothing like conditional in the case of operator, right? Comparison operators is simple, which means less than, greater than. Okay, comparing the numbers, or string is not directly compared because you have to use what? You have to use the methods of the string. Okay, to use that. Logical operators, I hope you got. We are going to see the examples. Okay, so we have seen operators in Java. This is the topic. Okay, simple. Okay, I hope you got the point, right? Conditional comparison word is kind of similar, but in the terms of technicality, it is not same. Condition is different, comparison is different. Okay, condition means a particular conditions. Comparison is being used inside the condition. Okay, that's how it works. So let's suppose we have to see about the operators. I'll directly write operators.java. So again, I'll explain this part. As soon as I write hit enter, right, you'll see this public class because I'm using an extension. If you want to use extension, you can search for Java, right? Simple on VS Code. You'll get a pack. The first one you are seeing, you can just install this one. I have already installed this. You can VS Code. So it automatically create the boilerplate for me. Okay, just like HTML, if you have heard, HTML we have some few simple shortcuts, right? That shortcuts can be used in here as well. Java, it is quite helpful and friendly, right? User friendly in this case. So let's suppose if I have to write public static void main, I can simply write public static void uh, this and I'll get this. Okay. So I don't have to write this whole code. Okay. So this is how the extension works. Again, if you can see, class name is automatically same as the file name. Make sure to follow the convention. First letter should be capital. It is not necessary. If you're not using the first letter capital, it will still work. Okay. But in Java, it is necessary to use. I mean, there is a proper convention. Okay, to use that. Okay, so here we have to see about the operators. As we have already saw about the variables and data types, I'm going to show you like this. Let's suppose starting with the numbers. We have a number. Let's suppose number first, that is 45. We have number 2, which is 30. Let's suppose anything. Okay, so if you have to simply add, you already saw that. Okay, in the previous class as well, I've shown that arithmetic operators. works quite easy. Okay, nothing different. Here, if I write num1 plus num2, it is quite easy, right? This is one of the basic part. Okay, if you don't know, so here I have to simply click on run. Okay, that's how it. Device code is quite easy to execute. So you can see the output. It's not that the font size is a bit low, right? But if you can see, we have 390. Okay, so just after the blue lines, that is the command they are using. Just after the blue lines, we have 390, which is a sum of 445 and 345. Okay, same you can use multiplication as well, right? Here you can have the multiplication, but it will multiply the numbers. Here you have subtraction. Okay, so I have to tell you about the module, that modulus operator. Okay, just give me a second. I'll run this again. You'll see what? You'll see 390. You'll getting minus 300 because 45 minus 345 is minus. Okay, because we are using num1 first. And here multiplication. Okay. Remember this point int is 32-bit, right? So it cannot store plenty of numbers. You'll get some error. Okay, you'll get some exceptions. So make sure if you are trying to multiply, we have to just verify this. It's not exceeding the integer or max value. Okay. So every data type has a max value. Okay, I can show you that as well. Let's suppose if you have to see the maximum value of int, right? So we use the integer class dot max value. Okay, we have the minimum value as well. So minimum value will be like simply negation, right? Negative of max value. That's it. So it is actually plus 2 billion and minus 2 billion, right? 2 to the power 32, like that. Okay, so that's the maximum value. Okay, if you have to read the input from user and store it in a variable. See, okay, so if you want to see the scanner, right, that, yeah, okay, that we can see. Okay, first see this integer max value. I'll comment this out. Okay, so if you have to use a input, I'll show you that as well. That's nothing different. We have to use one class actually. Okay, so we have to use one package. Simply run on this, you'll get the numbers, right? If you can see the numbers, we have 214,748,3647. So this is actually 2 to the power 32. Okay, 2 billion. And if you use integer or min value, you'll get negation of this. Okay, so this will be integer dot min value. So this is actually, you cannot exceed this particular term, right? If you're exceeding it, you'll get an exception out of that run, right? Here actually it is minus 1. Okay, remember this by 2 to the power 32 minus 1 also. Okay, I mean, that is the negation in here. Okay. And afterwards, what we have to see, yeah. So for the input, right, if you can see this one. So for each class, for the long, you have the max value. For the double, you have the max value. Okay. Not for the string. String doesn't have the maximum value. String has a default value, okay, which is empty string. Okay. So I hope you got the idea about the string, right? It is not primitive. It is derived data type. Remember this point. It is being asked in the interviews as well, right? Quite simple, but people get confused in that. Okay, so this is how you can get the maximum value and the minimum value. Okay, so let's suppose if you have to see the input part, I'll show you with the scanner. We have buffered reader as well. Syntax is a bit different. Okay, it is actually quite complex, so I'll not suggest you to go for the buffered reader. You can go for the scanner. It is quite easy. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to simply import this java dot util dot scanner. So I don't have to use all of the packages. So I'll tell you what we're doing here. Packages is like a methods, it's like a function which is there inside the JDK. Okay, that we are simply using with the help of import. Import means calling that method to use this inside the our this particular class. Okay, simply using that code. It means, let's suppose if you have written this operators, right? If you have used some function, that actual class or that actual method, if you want to use inside the class, and that is there outside the package. Okay, that is there outside the file. Okay, then we have to import it. Simply we can import the file as well. That is also a possibility. You can import the package, you can get all the files. Okay, because see, the condition is we have this package day 2. Okay, although this is not necessary right now. Okay, this is not necessary, this is simple points. But this, if you want to understand, this means you're simply using the scanner. We want the scanner, so for that we need to import it. Simple. Okay, so what we have to do, public static void main again. Simple. Here I'll show you how we can take the input and output. Okay, and by using this only, I'll be telling you how we can use the conditional statements. Okay, so we have one more topic, which is conditional statements, right, with the operators. So operators, I hope I'll tell you in between with the conditional as well. So let's suppose in here we have to see arithmetic. I hope you got the idea, right? Modulus. Here, let's see one more. This is actually what I wanted to tell you. the modulus operator, right? So can anyone tell me what is this modulus operator? What we are going to get? If you can see the screen, I have commented all the lines. I'll make it in the last. So this is, I'll write like this. So modulo, we call it modulo operator. So what is the answer? What is going to be the answer for num modulo 2? We have 45, we have 345. Can anyone tell me? First, tell me what is this modulo operator? Is it like percentage or something different? Returns the remember, exactly, that returns remember. So if you can see the screen, I'll show you in the board itself. Just give me a second. So we have numbers like this. We have numbers like this. Can anyone tell me what is going to be? This is the number. Num1 45 345. We have written like this. Num1 modulo num2. Let's see. We'll get the right answer. What is going to be the answer? It returns the remember, exactly. It returns the remember. Can anyone tell me what is going to be remainder in here? Num1 modulo num2. That's how we call it. We call it modulo, right? So what is going to be the answer for this? Just tell me quickly in the chat box, please. What is going to the output for this num1 and num2? We have 45 and 345, right? Can anyone tell me what is going to be the remainder in here? What is the remainder? It is quite easy here. It is quite easy. Can anyone tell me what is the remainder? Okay, we are getting this 45. Okay, cool, cool. That's correct actually. Okay, so why we're getting 45? Can anyone tell me the reason? We are getting 45 obviously. Why it is 45? Obviously, if you see the difference, right? If you see the definition, it is quite easy, because if you're dividing the 45 with 345, obviously you're going to get the remainder 45, right? Because it goes for the zero first, right? And because we are not including the decimal, so that is the answer. So every time you can see in a simple way, those who didn't get this point, how we are getting this 45. Because if your num1, this one on the left hand side, if it's smaller than your num2, every time you'll get the num1, right? This is simple, because if you can see in here, if you have 45 inside and we have 345 inside, so every time you have to go for the zero, right? If you see the basic maths, right? So it'll be go for the zero, you'll get the 45. That's how you'll be getting 45. Okay. So that's basic maths of, like, you're not in high school, right? That's even below. So I hope you got the idea. This is simple modulo. It is also used most of the time. That's why I told you. See, because we are going to make one reverse of number, right? We are going to make some programs on day 3. So that is going to be used. That's why I told you this is important. Remember this point, it returns a remainder. Okay. So those who didn't get, just let me know. Okay. If you didn't get the point, just let me know in the chat box if you have any doubt in this. Okay. Let's go on the input output. You can see that code. Okay. You can see the code. Any doubts you can ask. So what we have to do, we have to use simple scanner. Okay. So we have used this scanner. It can be directly used. Scanner is a class. This is nothing but a class. Okay. Class means a particular block or area which contains the methods and variables, everything. Okay. Methods means functions. Okay. We are going to see what is function in the day 3. So this is, let's suppose, scanner. I'll write as an new. Okay, just forget about this new, what we are going with this new and all those things. We don't need to pass the cat set name. We can simply pass this system.in. Okay. So here we have to pass system.in, and that's it. So we have created the object of the scanner. System.in means I want to use the input. That's simple. When you are using system.out.println, that is the same. Here we are passing this particular parameter to the scanner to tell the scanner I want to use the input method. Okay. So here, let's suppose if you want to take input as the integer, we have specific method in the scanner. Right. Let's suppose if I wrote like this, num, I don't have any value. I just like written like this. So num, I have to write post input part. Okay. So let's suppose this out. I'll say enter number. Okay. I'll simply write enter number in here, and afterwards, what we have to do? Simple pass num equals to, we have to use sn, that object we have to use sn dot next. You have to use int. Simple. You don't have to pass anything inside the brackets. This is simple. So that next int means you are taking the number as an integer. So because see, by default, what happens every time you type anything, okay, on the terminal, that is nothing but the string. Okay, everything is a string, everything is a string, right? But it gets converted to the number using this. So it tells the compiler that we are going to take the that particular character we are hitting, right? That is nothing but the integer. So here if you pass characters, you'll get error because it will say this should be integer, right? We'll see that error as well. Totally. Okay, so let's suppose what we have to do, I have to just print that number as well, right? So I'll show you. Sys out simple. I'll print this number. I'll run this code. Okay, it will open this particular enter number. Okay, so here we have, if you can see the terminal, I'll show you. So here we have stick with this enter number. Nothing is printing afterwards. I have to type, let's suppose 123 I had written. Okay, I have to hit enter, which means you have to go after that line. Okay, because hitting enter means simply going after that particular line. Hit enter, you'll get 123 again because I'm simply printing that number. I'll show you with this. So I'll write in here number I got from input. That is, that'll be better, right? This is quite simple how we got taking the input, and this is from the user. Right now I'm the user only, right? So you can check on your system as well. Okay, if you're using the online compiler, you have to go for the console part. Okay, because the working would be different. Here working is different. Code is going to be same. Code is nothing different. Code is same. You can get this code. You can write on the online compiler or in your system. Try this one. How you are taking the input. You are simply typing anything. Let's suppose 12455. Hit enter. You'll say number I got from the input is equals to 12455. So this is the number I'm getting from the input. Okay. Is it clear? This is simple input output. Okay. Yeah. Then remember. Exactly. So that is next end. Okay. So if you're passing any string, right? Because you cannot store the string in the num, so that's not possible because it will convert that whatever you are passing, it will convert that into a string. It will consider that as a string. So you cannot store integer string into the integer. That's not possible, right? Similarly for the string, if you have to take the input as a string, so let's suppose if I'm writing like string str, I don't have anything for this. I'll simply write this out into string. Okay. And in here you have to pass like str equals to sn. Sn is the scanner object dot next line. Next line if you want to get all the particular paragraph you want to type, right? Let's suppose if you want to type more than one word, okay. If you want to include the space as well, you have to go for the next line. Okay. There is again one of the what you can say, few points you have to remember in the next line, because see you can check by your side. I'll ask one question. Okay, after this I'll ask one question, and that will be not a quiz part, that's just for the knowledge. Because every time I'm going to use next line, right? And if I'm trying to use or take an input as integer, okay, then what will happen? Okay, that you have to figure it out. Okay, the next day we'll talk about it. Okay, so that I'll tell you what is the question. So this is for taking the string as a input, and let's suppose if you want to simply get the output of this. So the I'll simply write string is equal to plus and just type str. Okay, so semicolon. Remember the don't forget the semicolon, get the syntax errors. Okay. Because this is case sensitive and statically typed language, you cannot have the this compile time errors like the JavaScript, which automatically handles those things. Okay. So here, let's suppose if I'm typing number, hit enter, it will ask for, yeah, this is the problem. Okay, that's what I wanted to ask. What happened right now? What happened? What happened? What happened right now? It didn't even ask me for the input. Directly print it, right? Enter string, it automatically print this string is like this. Why it is like this? Why it is like this? What happened? If the this data type should be used float or double. See, it depends upon the size you want to store. If you want to store the just 32-bit, right? The double is the option. Either you can use, if you want to use the 64-bit, more data, more space, you can use float. That is the difference. Both store the decimal value. You can use either. Okay. Slash n you can use. Okay. So sn is the part of scanner object. Exact. Not the part of. Actually, this is the scanner object. See, this Sn is the scanner object. Okay, it is not a part. It is a scanner object. Okay, you can give any name, right? This is just object name. This is the scanner object, right? not a part actually. Okay, this is a actual kind of object. Can we use this slash n? Yeah, you can use after that string. That is also possible, but ln is preferred. See, if you want to just have the change of line, you can use that as well. Okay. Can anyone tell me what happened in here? That you have to actually check. Okay, we have to see conditional statements. So I'm not going to stick with this part. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. Wait a second. Okay. Got a call. Okay, let it be. Okay. See, so what you have to do in here, in this part, you have to figure it out. You have to just go through the this web and check what is happening if I'm taking integer as an input. Afterwards, if I'm taking the string as an input. Okay. So what is the difference? Why I'm not getting to this point? Why it is automatically returning the empty string? What is happening in here? That you have to check. Okay, that is the question. If you got the question, I'll write it after this at the end of class. Don't worry. Okay, it will be like taking more time. We have so many things to explore, right? This is one of the use cases. Okay, yeah, this is kind of edge cases you have to do. In line 20, we are capturing values. See, line 20 is not directly like capturing values, but what is happening, okay, you have to explore that part. This is like a quiz, right? You can just explore on the Google and see for search for this thing, what is happening after the int, why we're not getting this part, because you'll get the answer if you understand about the next line, right? Output not visible proper. Okay, I'll again run this, don't worry. Okay. Let me increase the font size, run the code. Okay. See, it should be visible now. We are simply taking the number. Okay. I'm just typing the number. Let's suppose anything. Okay. Actually, this is one of the questions, right? If you have heard about the hacker rank, this platform, right? If you want to just do the questions, there is one question related to this only. What is happening if I'm directly taking the string after the integer as an input? What happens? So if I just hit enter, you'll see number I got, it is correct. But for the string, I'm using sn.next line. It should ask me for the input. It doesn't read, right? It is directly giving me the output. That I wanted to know. What is happening? What is the issue? Object name can be anything, exactly. Object name can be anything. You can use any name, right? It should not be scanner, the keyword, but you can use any name apart from that. Okay. So what is happening? You have to just figure it out. Why we're not able to take the string as an input afterwards. But see, obviously this works. I have to comment this out. Okay, I'll simply comment this out. If you have to see how we are taking the string as an input, that we can see. But in here, I'll tell you. Okay. See, so now it asks me for the inter string. Here I have to, let's suppose, pass hello world. Oops. Hello world, right? See, string is equals to hello world. Now it is working obviously. Again, it asks me for the inter string. It is what is okay? I guess I run it again. See, just give me a second. Yes, I hit enter again. That's why. Okay. So how it is working? I'll show you this again. Obviously, this thing works. This is not the wrong line for the next line. That is not wrong. It is correct, but actually the edge case, or you can say the problem with the next line is it takes the space, right? That you can see afterwards. Let's suppose if I type hello, enter, you'll see string is hello. Okay, you are getting this output. If you're not able to see, I'll make it more the font size I have increased. Actually, it's not good for me to write the code, but yeah, if you can see right now. So inter string I have written hello. I'm getting this output hello. That's simple. Okay, I'll just decrease this again. Okay, so in here, what is happening is simple, right? This part you have to figure it out. Let's come to the conditional operators, right? Directly, we don't. It, it takes much time. Okay. So conditional statements. Can anyone tell me what is this conditional statements? See, in this only, I'll tell you about the logical operators because it is being used in here only. Can anyone tell me what is this conditional statements? What is this conditional statements? What do we mean by that? Increase the quality. Yeah, obviously, like if you are getting a blood, you have to increase the quality. Thanks. String default value is not null. It is by default like empty string, right? Actually, in the case of string builder, For it you can say null, but if you're in slicing it, obviously you can slice any value, but by default it is going to be empty string, right? Null in the case if you are not using the string class, right? That's why. Because see, there is a lot of possibility. String class, string object, and string builder is different. We have kind of three types, right, for the string only. Okay, but if you talk about simple, the general string which you use most of the time, it have this by default empty string, double quotes, no value. Okay, you can say empty, simple, right? Null is different. Null is for the boolean and all those things. For that, null is the by default value, right? And can anyone tell me what is this conditional? What is this conditional statements? Why this term? What is this term? I'll explain a bit about this, then we'll move, right? So this is the last part we have to see. Can anyone tell me the examples? Since the method continues, yeah, see, you can search for that, right? You can tell me this tomorrow, right? Get the exact answer. You are getting, you are reaching to that answer, right? That's separator. Okay, so looking for line separator, search for all input searching. See, you're getting it obviously. This is like kind of 90% correct, right? So it is doing the same, but the reason is again different, but related to this only, right? Condition if and else. Anything else apart from that if and else? Do we have any other condition statements in Java? What about if else? If else is easy, right? We're going to see if else first. Okay. So you already told me about if else. Okay. See, if is different again. If else is again different. Then we have if else ladder. We call it ladder, right? Or you can say simple if or else if, like this. Okay. We call it else if ladder, right? ऐसा भी मतलब कई सारी possibilities हैं, but generally we have if else, we have if else if. Okay, so this is related. Apart from this one, do we have any other conditional statements? Do we have any other? This is simple conditional statements, right? It's so simple. But what about other? Do we have any other conditional statements in Java apart from this three? Any other? Do we have? Or an end? See, I cannot see, that is a comparison, right? Nested if is it will come into this part. You can say that nested if, see, if you're trying to make that, it will have lot of options, right? It will be like lot of possibilities to get the nested if, nested if else, right? All those things. Yeah, you can say nested if as well, but I'm not talking about this keyword. Apart from this keyword, do we have any? Switch, exactly. We have switch. Switch is inside this conditional statements only, right? So this is also one of the most used switch statements. Okay, switch is a conditional statement. Do while is a loop. See, this do while is a loop. It is not a conditional statement. That is a loop. Actually, inside the condition, it is being used in do while, but it is not a conditional statement. Switch statement, exactly. That's correct. While is a loop. While is not the answer. While is a loop. If you are getting confused with the question, you are asking about the conditional statements. Okay. So we have this if else if and all those things. Actually, we are going to use that logical operators inside this only. Okay. I'll tell you how. So syntax is quite easy. I'll write in here. So see, we have to write if this is the keyword inside the brackets, two parentheses we have to pass. It will take the condition. I'll simply show you the trial. This is simple if. Okay. So here I'm writing three dots or whatever. This is the block of code we want to run, but only at a particular condition. Okay. At a certain condition. So this condition, it should be true. When we are going to inside this block, when the condition is true. If it's true, you are going to run this code. Otherwise, you will simply skip this part. Nothing will happen to this line. Okay. Let's suppose I'll give an example. I'll just simply explain the syntax part because we have lot of syntaxes in here. See, for the if else, it is again quite easy. It will take the condition, okay, and the block of code inside it, which we are want to run. Otherwise, if that condition is not true, we'll have kind of backup plan, right? The backup code which should run. Okay. So if this condition is not met, if it's not true, in this case, I'll show you the trial, okay, in the code exactly. So if it's not true, it is going to run this else block, no matter what. Okay. Nothing is going to be checked. Simply this condition is false. You'll run to this else block. I'll show you the trial with the code, don't worry. If else if is again simple like this only. If else if syntax is again like this. Let's suppose if we have a condition, Okay, again the block in here we have else if block. Okay, and afterwards we have else. Okay, simple. So this block actually, I'll tell you, this is nothing but the code. Okay, so whatever we are writing in here, it is the code. Again, there are particular syntaxes because what people generally do, they even ignore the brackets. If you have only one single statement, you can ignore the brackets. I'll show you how. Okay, there is a lot of possibilities. This is simple. I'll tell you the try run. This condition is true, this will run this block whatever we have written inside it. Otherwise, it will come to this else if. We can have any number of else if. Okay, you can have 2, 4, 8, any number. You can have more than, like, there is not a particular count. You can have any number of else if in here. So if this condition is met, it will run this. It will not go for this, right? It will not check anything if this condition is true. And let's suppose that you are not, this condition is not true, you're not running this code, you are going into the else if block. If this condition is true, it will run the code inside it. Otherwise, it will move to the else part. Okay, and if it's true, it will simply run out of this particular block, whole block. Okay, that's actually, it's messed up. I'll show you from here. Okay, so let's suppose if you are going to the else if condition, this is not true. Going into the else if condition, if it's true, you'll simply get out of this whole block. You don't have to check the else, you don't have to check any else if. Okay, one condition is true, you'll simply get out of that. Okay, you don't have to use break, you don't have to use break any of that statement. Break in the case of loop, here you don't have to worry about this. Okay, so else if is actually to reduce the code part. We can do the every logic of if else if with the if and else, nested if actually. What someone suggested this one also, right? So nested if. So this is again, you can say the hybrid of this if and else if. Okay, so that is the nested if conditions. It will have if inside it, if else, again if and, that, like, so many possibilities. We don't have to go for that right now. If you understand simple if else, you'll understand all those things, right? So public static void main, again we are going to write a simple code. So I'll start with the if condition. What I'll write, num equals to 0. I'll ask from you guys only. I have one question, right? Simple one question. You have seen about the modulo operator. Okay. So let's start with a simple basic one. Num is, this is the simple, let's suppose the comparison operator. Num is greater than 0. Okay. I'll write it 10. So if this is condition is true, what I'll write in here, I'll write number is greater than 0. Okay. Simply, obviously, this is nothing but the positive number. Simple this, I'll run this code. Just mark in here, right? Just, it is obviously it is small, but you'll see number is greater than 0. It is working. Let's suppose if I write minus 67, anything, if I write. Again, if I run the code, you'll see nothing, right? You'll not see anything. I'll clear the console. Give me a second. Clear the console, run this code again. You'll not see anything because I haven't written any, right? I haven't written any system.print or anything after this if. So nothing is working. We don't have any print statement. If this condition is not true, which means simple, 60 minus 67 is not greater than 0. This condition is false, right? If this condition is false, this statement will not print. Simple if. Okay. Let's suppose if I just make it with the else as well. So it is quite possible you can use single if without the else. You can have the if else as well, right? Like this. So let's suppose I'll write simple. Okay. What do I have to do in here? Number is less than 0. Obviously. I mean, what is the possibility if number is not greater than 0? It can be less than 0. Obviously, there is one more possibility, which is equal to 0, but just forget about it right now. If I run this code right now again, it will say number is less than 0. Now what is happening? If condition is false, this statement is false, this is not being executed, else part will run, simple number is less than 0 is going to execute. Simple. Okay. Okay, this is simple. Any doubts in this? किसी को यहाँ पे कोई doubt है? Any doubt? Any doubt in this part, guys? Just be quick. Any doubts in here? Any doubt? Any doubt? On the chat box, right? In the chat box. If you have any doubt, you can ask. This is quite easy. Just simple if else. Okay, if else right now. We can see with the if else if as well. I'll show you that number, right? I'll show you that number. Any doubt in here? In particular, any doubt in here? You can ask. Any doubt, guys? Just be quick. Any doubts in here? Any doubts till this point? Anyone have any doubt? Okay. So I'll have to ask one more simple logic. I have to check one condition, right? The question is like this. I have to check number. Number is positive or zero or negative. Okay. The only constant is I have to use the if else if. Okay. I don't have to use if else. I have to use if else if. So what is the condition? Can anyone tell me the condition in here? What is the condition? Now we have to use logical operator. Okay. As such, it is not necessary, but yeah, we can use the logical operator. Else part is executed exactly. Can we use break in the if? Yeah, exactly. You can use if break statement. It doesn't make any sense because in the if statement, break will not do as such because obviously you are going to put out of that block, right? Of the if block. So that's why it doesn't make any sense. Okay. So just tell me this part. We can just go to the switch part, right? In here, what is the condition? Let's suppose if I have a number, this one only, I have to check this number of minus 67. Okay, whatever I have written. Okay, maybe I'll take this example. I'll take the input. Okay, from here, simply take the input instead of hard coding. I'll remove all this part from now. Okay, so I'll write in n, and in here we don't have anything. I'll take simply input like this, enter number, next int, and it's not takes much time to half much time, right? Okay. What is the condition? I have to check for this. What is the condition? Can anyone tell me? Like the condition we're taking number greater than zero. What could be the condition for positive? I have to get three things. I have to check number is positive. It should be written print positive. Either if the number is zero, it should print zero. If it's not, it should print negative. Simple. What is the condition? What we can use in the if else? Can anyone write in the chat box? The condition. Can you write? Simple. That's simple, right? Okay. So this is quite easy. This is the question actually, the problem statement. We have to check if the number is positive or zero or negative, right? So you can do with the if three times if also you can use three times. We can use if else if, you can use if else as well, right? But the better option is if else if. Why is that? I'll show you. So simple condition is going to be obviously the same, right? The logic is kind of same. Actually, it is for the even and odd, right? Even and odd, we have to use those operators actually. So number greater than zero, the sum statement we have to write afterwards. That we are going to see what statement. We have else if. So here number let's suppose equal to zero. Okay. And the simple logic is if my number is not zero, if my number is not positive, then obviously one left, right? That is negative. So it will be simple negative. So what we have to write? I'll just copy this for now and I'll write in here number is negative. Okay. And this number is going to be zero. Okay. And in this point, number is going to be positive. It's simple. This is if else if, right? So we have not much time left. We have to see switch as well. So I'll simply run this code. You'll see it will ask for enter number. I have to write the number. Okay. So I'll write, let's suppose 23, hit enter. You'll see number is positive. Okay. Again, I'll run the code. It will ask for this. I'll write, let's suppose 0. I'll hit enter. I'll get number is 0, right? Obviously, number is 0 in here. So the condition, how it is being checked using this if else if, right? That's how what is happening. Number is greater than 0, positive or 0, exactly, right? That's correct. One more thing in here, actually, we will see that. Okay, see that in day 3. See, once we are going to cover the switch statement, you'll have the assignment, right? It will be related to the switch statement only and few conditions, okay, that we have to check. And one more quiz related to the switch and that input output, right? Because you have to check the condition, what is being happened after the int, why we cannot take the string as an input, what is the condition, what is the issue, okay, that you have to check by yourself. Obviously I'm going to tell the answer tomorrow, right? Okay, so in here switch, right? Let's go to the switch, the last. Okay, So switch is again one of the conditional statements. I have written like this switch. Let me change it, right? Change the name. It will be right. Let's suppose switch statement. It will change the class name as well. Simple public static void main. So switch is again nothing but just like a if else. Only the syntax is, you can say, quite easy, and the code readable, right? The code you are writing, that will be more readable. Means anyone can easily understand what is happening, because in the if statement or else statement, it might get complex if you have the lengthy logic, okay, but in the switch statement, it might get reduced, the code part might get reduced, okay. So let's quickly see that switch, right? uh, switch, we don't have to use any package, works directly like this, right? So see, I hope you got the point, right? This is quite easy. Make sure, okay, I'll explain that as well. Make sure you are marking that attendance and all those things, right? I'll just after this, okay, just give me a second. So let's suppose I have to print the day, right? That Monday, Tuesday, and all those things according to the day. I'll not take input right now. It will take more time in here. Okay. So switch statement is quite easy. The syntax is quite easy. You have to use switch keyword. It will take one bracket. Okay. The bracket will have the choice. Okay. Just like the cases we have. The question will have from here only, which I have. Simple. So let's suppose you have to pass the case. Case could be anything. Okay. Let's suppose in here we are passing what? Nothing but the day. Right. So which is an integer. Case should be integer because whatever you are passing in here, that should be same. Right. So let's suppose if you are passing case, let's suppose one. Right. So case one means you are using not the curly brackets, we are using colon after the case. Okay. So what it does, simply prints, let's suppose Monday, right? This is Monday. So this is the way of writing the code. You can use if else as well, right? Obviously, there is a lot of possibility of using the same code. I'm not going to write all the Monday, Sunday, and all those things. Simple till let's suppose Tuesday. And one more thing, okay, so we can write like this case 3, case 4, and all those things, right? Obviously, that's understandable, right? We have one more term which is default. This is just like the else statement. This is nothing but the if and else if. Okay, so you can relate with the if else if simply. Okay, if else if is kind of related to the switch statement. Here, what is happening? Simple. Whatever the condition is met. If this day is not matching with any of the cases, it will run this default. Okay. Now, question is again related to this one only, which is the quiz. Nothing different. I'll ask that question in here obviously. So what could happen, the day or the not valid day passed, which means if you're passing, let's suppose, more than number 7 or less than number -1, okay, so that is not possible, right? It finds the int or new line character, because see, I'm not using enter at the time of integer, but obviously that you can check, okay. That I'll tell you. Don't worry. That I'll tell you. See what is happening in here. This is quite simple. Okay. So this switch will work directly. It will check for this cases from this day, whatever the input you are passing in here. This day is 2. It will search for this case. Where it matches, it will simply break out of from here. Okay, one condition here. I forgot. You have to use break every time. Okay. This is the question, and this I forgot the break. Okay. So every time you have to use break. Break is just like, this is not the loop. Break means one condition is met, just get out of the switch statement. You don't have to check other cases. Simple. Yeah. Actually, you don't have to. You cannot use. It means you have to use, right? My question was this only. The quiz, simple quiz question was, what will happen if I don't use break, right? What will happen if I don't use break? I'll simply run this for now. When I run, you'll see what? You'll see Tuesday, right? Because my day is equals to 2. When I pass 1, run this code again, I'll get Monday. I haven't written other cases because it will take, we don't have much time left. So I've written like this. You can have this case 3, case 4, case 5, case 6, and case 7. You can complete afterwards, right? Every time you have to use break, I'll tell you the reason. Because case will match from this parameter. If it's not there, it will go for other cases. And if no cases match, it will go for the default. Okay. So why we're using break? Break is statement here to use because you don't want to go for the other case. If one case condition is matched, you have to simply get out of the switch statement. Simple. That's why break is used. My simple quiz or this question was, when we are not using break statement, right, in any cases, what will happen if any case matches? Okay, that you have to check. Okay, I'll ask this with a simple snippet tomorrow, but for now, you got the syntax, how this is working. You have to check, you have to tell me tomorrow, obviously, keep how this case is working. If you're not using break, what will happen? Okay, for the default, it obviously it matters, because see, let's suppose if I type day equals to number greater than this 2, right? So what will happen? If I run this code, you'll see not valid day pass, because any case doesn't match with this. 1 and 2 is not matching with 134. Okay, simple. So this is not equal to case 1 or case 2. Okay, this is not SQL. This is not SQL wise. This is the actual parameter we are passing. Okay, so it can be this 12, 13, right? It can be anything, obviously. It is not like every time it will start with a case 1, case 2, nothing like that. Okay, it can be string also, it can be character also, right? Remember this point. It can, see, it can be reversed. Let's suppose if I have to, I'm getting this as a string. Okay, I'll tell you, don't confuse with this part. Let's suppose if I'm writing like this, Monday. So it can be like this as well, right? It can be like this Monday as well. Okay. So it will be simply checking for, see, it will check for the uppercase as well. So here you can pass like this also. Here what you have to do, you have to simply pass 1. Obviously the reverse, right? I hope you got the point. It continues checking all the cases. That's not totally correct, but I'll ask with a simple snippet tomorrow. Okay, that you have to tell me. I hope you got the idea about switch statement. Okay, so break statement you have to use every time, otherwise some blunder will happen, right? In that case, okay. So cases will be checking with the parameters. Default is the else statement, like that. Okay. One more thing is, okay. So we are going to see about the loops and functions tomorrow. Okay, one important thing is you have to submit the assignment from here. If you can see, the you can mark the attendance, make sure you are selecting this, and just give the feedback whatever we have, right? Whatever, just be honest for that. Okay, just be honest. Mark the attendance. Let's suppose if I mark the attendance anything, and okay, like this. So when I just hit enter, you'll just attendance is marked, you'll see progress bar has increased, but it will be like, obviously when I refresh the page, it will happen. You have to submit the assignment from here, right? So you can click and you can see the assignment. Okay, that's again. So this is nothing but related to switch. We are going to discuss this assignment tomorrow only, right? We'll going to discuss this assignment. Try, okay, just try by yourself. Simple switch statement is going to use. Okay, nothing different. You have to submit in here only. There is a block. You can submit the GitHub link. You can submit that directly in here. Okay, just click on submit afterwards with the code. Right, you're getting this link from the chat box as well. See, make sure you're okay. If you like this particular bootcamp, right, make sure you like the video, subscribe the channel, and share with your friends as well, right? So share with your friends. Share the, if you share, you can obviously get the LU coins if they are enrolling into the batch. See, we have this B.Tech program, right, which is there. So if you share and some your friend, if they are enrolling in here, you'll get the MacBook or the that cash prize, right? So that's the referral option you can follow. And here we have so many program, right? If you want to learn more, because we have the DSA 3 to 4 month program, that is actually the maximum part, right? So where you can able to learn more of the things, the advanced part. Okay, because in 1 hour obviously we cannot learn most of the things, but I try to give you the knowledge and basically most the topic we are seeing. Okay, so I'm trying to cover the all the edge cases as well, right? Let's suppose if you are talking about the string, I've told you most of the things, although like some left, but we have seen, right, about the string, how it is not primitive, all those things. Okay, that is going to be covered in detail if you are enrolling to the DSA actual that program, right? The DSA program, okay, which is obviously the advanced Java and all those things. Okay, so make sure you are like the video. Okay, if you like the session, subscribe the channel, share with your friends. Okay, any doubts? Any doubts? If anyone have, you can ask. Any doubts? Anyone have? Anyone have any doubts? You can ask. कोई doubt है किसी को? Okay, so you are getting this link, right? The that particular DSA, not a bootcamp, right? The whole session, which is going for 3 to 4 months, it's just for the 5900. You can share with your friends. Okay, you'll get the LU coins, you'll get the benefits from there, right? If they are enrolling into the program. No, you have to submit it today only. You have to submit it today only, right? You can write, you can even submit the GitHub link if you want. Okay, so either you can submit the GitHub link, or you can submit the code inside that block only, right? You can submit it tomorrow also by tomorrow morning. Okay, not an issue. Okay, so any doubts anyone have, you can ask. Anyone have any doubt? Okay, that's very good if you have submitted. See, you can use if else. Switch statement is not necessary. Simple if else also you can use. Simple conditions and simple print. That question is quite easy, right? Nothing complex in there. Switch statement will be a bonus. If you are using switch, it will be bonus, not necessary. Okay, I'll tell you in tomorrow with the switch. Okay, so any doubts anyone have? Anyone have any doubt? I hope you enjoyed the session, right? I hope you enjoyed the session. Make sure you're sharing this video, right? Share the boot camp and make sure your friends also enrolling in the boot camp. Okay, please make sure you are sharing the proper feedback. Okay, make sure that. uh, okay, so moderator is he here? I'll Okay, I hope you got this idea, right? Anyone have any doubt, just let me know. I can take the doubts for 2 minutes. I'll be here for 2 minutes. Anyone have any doubt? I hope you enjoyed the session. Okay. Any doubts anyone have, you can ask. Assignment will be, so you have to simply write the code. Of course, you have to simply write the code. You have to simply write the code, right? There only. You can use if else, you can use any, right? For there. So, anyone have any doubt? Means on which platform? See on the link only. Because you have this link on the chat box itself. Okay. You have the link on the chat box. From there you can submit the assignment. Okay, on the where you're marking the attendance, see here, you can see in here, right, on the screen as well. We have this. So below the assignment, this particular attendance, we have this summation of assignment as well, right? After this one. Okay, Google Doc links share. Which doc link? Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the session, right? Let's wind up then. Okay, see you guys then tomorrow. Okay, make sure you're marking your attendance. Okay, that's important. 50% is minimum criteria. Okay, so you're getting the assignment link. Google Doc link. Which Google link? Which link you're asking? No, you don't have to paste in here, right? Because you don't have to paste in here. You have to simply use that link and you can go onto the site there only. If you can see on the screen, right? You can see on the screen. We have the box in here. Okay. Actually, the minimum words you have there is 100, right? That's actually, if your coding exceeding, I guess, by 100, it will not work, but it will be like less than 100 words, right? Don't worry. So I hope we can wind up. I hope you enjoyed the session. Okay, make sure to share the this video, right? Share the video, subscribe to the channel, and okay, and please mark your attendance. Okay, make sure to mark the attendance. Any yeah, exactly. You can write the code inside this box. Exactly. Okay. So any doubts, guys? Any doubts you can ask. Otherwise, we can wind up. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed the session, right? We are going to learn more things, the kind of function and the most important objects, how we are getting the objects. Right? Okay, no worries, of course. Okay, so I hope we can end the session now. Um, Moderator, are you here? Can If you're here, you can end the session, right? Okay, okay, cool. See you guys then tomorrow, right? Hope you enjoyed the session. Okay, cool. ठीक है